Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jump and today I'm doing my top 5 favourite galaxies from Super Mario Galaxy 2. Now, I think with Galaxy 1 and 2, they are quite fun games to play around, mainly because it's basically Mario in space, where with Mario Galaxy 1, it kind of changed the way Mario would play, in terms of how he would go through a particular level, and with Galaxy 2, it was just more of the same in a sort of sense. It kind of felt like DLC, and I think it was supposed to be DLC, but Nintendo turned the DLC into another game. And in this Galaxy, there are a whole bunch of new galaxies and stars to collect. And for this one, I'm just going over some of my favourite galaxies that you can go around in Mario Galaxy 2. So for number 5 is Shiverburn Galaxy. Now, Shiverburn Galaxy, it kind of reminds me of Freeze Flame Galaxy, in the terms that there are some elements of the galaxy that are fire areas and some areas that are ice areas. And I think the main highlight of that particular part of the galaxy is the first area of it, where you'll first see just an entire the entire floor is just lava, and then later you can hit a button which will completely freeze the whole of the floor into solid ice, which I think is a quite interesting way of doing that part of the level, just because it kind of relies you to think on your feet in a sense, and also you can use the Cloudflower suit in that part of the level just to try and get to the button or to any of the other areas, like the launch star, I believe, or the sling star, depending on which one it is. And yeah, and also there's like meteors about halfway I think through one of the missions, where you have to try and dodge them, and as well as the pools of lava that they create on the ice. And I do like how if you enter the galaxy the first time, or for any of the missions, and if you go to first person mode and look to your left, you can see just about these tall, creepy characters that we don't really know about on the cliffs. I think that's quite a cool little Easter egg. And yeah, some of the missions are quite fun, like Prince Caliente, I believe. I think he's the first mission you do in the galaxy, and I think it's a really cool boss fight. It's a lot more complicated than the King Caliente fight, because with Prince Caliente, he's on this sort of how do I put it? This sort of turret sort of thing, this sort of cannon mobile thing, and it fires out meteors or fireballs and watermelons, and it's kind of a bit more difficult than King Caliente because it's on ice, and think that's quite tough and challenging. For number 4 is Melty Monster Galaxy. Now, with Melty Monster Galaxy, it's quite fun because it's probably, I would say, a quite hard galaxy to navigate, because you have to go through all of these areas that have like lava waves, and as well as lava monsters. And I think that's a really challenging thing to do, because it kind of reminds me of one of the areas in Melty Molten Galaxy, I believe, where you'll have to, I think in order to reach the launch star, you have to try and, or two different launch stars, you have to basically have to go through past all of these like big fireball things, which I think is quite hard, and they have and they spew out fire and stuff like that. I think it's quite challenging just to do that. And with Melty Monster Galaxy, it's a really fun challenge to do, just because of there's like 100 monsters coming at you, like the main fire monsters that comes out of the lava, and it's got some fun elements to it. I do enjoy it, and I do like, I think, the first or second mission that you do, where you try and get to where the star is in this big crystal. That's quite challenging, because all around you is just fire monsters that just come out of the lava, and they'll just keep on coming and coming and coming, and I think that's just really cool and really fun to play around in. For number 3 is Supermassive Galaxy. Now, what I like about Supermassive Galaxy is that everything in that particular galaxy is huge, and you're just tiny. Because like everything from the Lumas to the Thwomps to the Goombas to even the ground that you walk on in that galaxy is huge. Even the star chips that you will gather to create a launch star, those are massive as well. And I think that's a really interesting way of playing the galaxy, because it kind of reminds me of one of the levels in Mario 64, where you'll see two different paintings. One makes everything big, and one makes everything small, depending on which one you go in. And that's really that kind of the concept for Supermassive Galaxy, where everything is huge. And I think that's a really fun area just to be in, just to see how everything's massive, and how you try and play through the level, like how you might try and defeat a particular Goomba, or try and get past the piranha plants, that instead of you might needing to do a spin attack to defeat them, they'll just come out of the pipes that they're in. And I think that's a really cool way of making them more of an obstacle instead of just them just being hit by Mario. And I think that's a really cool way of just using the environment around you. For number 2 is Throwback Galaxy. Now, Throwback Galaxy is a reference to, again, to Mario 64, and I think it's Thwomp's Fortress, and I think it's the exact same one from Thwomp's Fortress, because I remember watching a video that was on Throwback Galaxy. I think it was by Chucker Conroy, I believe, who was doing a Let's Play a few years ago, and I remember him saying that that Throwback Galaxy in Galaxy 2 is the exact same one from 64, in which the wall's gone and stuff like that. So like if in Mario 64 there's a particular star you can use if you use the cannon, and that breaks the wall and you can get the star. And I think that's really interesting, because this is basically just a continuation of the particular level from 64, and it's just brought into Galaxy 2. And I do like how you, in Throwback Galaxy, for the first mission, I think when you have to fight the King Thwomp again, you will first fight just a normal Thwomp, but then after beating him, you fight the actual Thwomp King, and I think that's really cool. And if you are defeated by him, he'll do the same speech he'll do for you the first time you fight him in that galaxy, but he'll just say, "Oh, I just hate repeating myself," and he'll just skip to the fight. And I think that's really cool, because like he's basically the same bad guy from or the same boss from 64, and I think that's a really fun way of just bringing back a galaxy, or bringing back an old level from an old game, and just putting it into Galaxy 2. And for number 1 is Flip Swap Galaxy. Now, with this galaxy, this is one of the first areas, or the first galaxies you see in the game, and this is one, I believe, the first Hungry Luma star, or the first Hungry Luma galaxy. And what I like about Flip Swap Galaxy is that it's probably one of my favourite levels in the whole game, just because this whole galaxy is basically has you have to basically just try and because like you've got these platforms, right, and they basically change every time you do a spin attack, and it really makes you think on your feet, just to see like, okay, there's this particular area we have to go to. I could try a long jump and then do a spin, or I could take it the more safe way and just spin when I need to, and I really do enjoy playing through the level, because you have to avoid chain chomps or rolling chain chomps and electrical lasers, which go across the part of the level, and I think it's a really another part. It's kind of like Supermassive Galaxy, in which the environment around you have to think on your feet and think how each area of the galaxy can be worked into your favor, in terms of, okay, I can use this area, but this particular chain chomp will come and get me if I don't go to the particular safe area. And it's just a very fun area just to go on, and I do enjoy it, and I do I think it's probably one of the most fun galaxy I can go in every time I play Mario Galaxy 2, and it's just really cool and enjoyable, and it's just a fun galaxy to play around in. So that's been my top 5 favourite galaxies from Super Mario Galaxy 2. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.